It gives me great pleasure to participate in the Global Tech Summit. My intervention today will be focused on access to justice and technology. I'm Khalid Al-Khalifa, the Minister of Justice of the Kingdom of Bahrain. To start with, let us go back 5 years when the UN member states adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to be achieved by 2030. Goal number 16 states that promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. This goal, or better to say mechanism, has been put under immense pressure over the past year, especially in providing access to justice for all. We all witnessed and are still witnessing many challenges related to healthcare, employment, family, economy, crimes, and many other areas which casted shadows and continues to over the justice sector. Two questions I will try to answer. One, how did Bahrain use technology to deal with the challenges related to access to justice so far? Two, what are the challenges anticipated to access to justice in the near future and the role of technology in dealing with them? For the first question, Bahrain, like many other countries, was faced with a situation that is unprecedented in the recent history. We started in 1986 to use technology in our courts, focusing mainly on lawyers. And then we expanded this use to the general public, especially for commercial cases and enforcement. The pandemic posed a threat to access to justice in many different ways. We made an assessment from day one of the possible negative effects of this pandemic. Access to justice was under severe pressure, and no one should be left behind. The key point for us was to define areas where technology can guarantee that everyone is on board and able to access justice in all areas. The assessment identified the following main areas. Primarily, the difficulty to attend courts or follow courts procedures physically. Social distancing regulations were in place and possible lockdown, which luckily did not happen. Also, the number of labor cases may arise, bearing in mind that foreign laborers need immediate support. Challenges are immense for them. Visa, valid ID to get to the online services, or legal counsel, housing, and basic needs. Moreover, family cases may arise. Family court procedures and the mandatory mediation process may face challenges. And the number of cases related to supply, construction, and shipping contracts may rise as well. Also, tenancy problems, whether for residential or commercial, may increase. Adding to that, justice administrative capacity, not in terms of numbers, but relating to the efficiency of procedures in the light of the health restriction, may not effectively deal with all matters related to the administration of justice. Enforcement of judgments as well, especially holding auctions, evictions, and disputed visits of divorced parents to their children in family courts. And the most important challenge is, what about the criminal justice system? The safety of the accused, judges, lawyers, prosecutors, court staff, and the public attending to the court. What is unique about Bahrain experience in dealing with the 8 challenges we envisaged early on is that forming a team in the justice sector from the judiciary, administration, public prosecution, lawyers, especially young lawyers, and the e-government. And the e-government here is the authority responsible for advancing the use of technology and communication in the government. Also, in-house development of technology gave us the space to maneuver and meet the changes required effectively. The readiness and competence of the IT department and the Ministry of Justice allowed the tailoring in-house of our technological solutions. The flexibility in the procedural laws allowed us to move with new set of regulations that meet the needs of managing access to justice through technology. Our goal was not only to provide online services to all, but also to use technology in making fundamental changes in the way cases are being managed to improve further effectiveness or effective access to justice. Cases were channeled into many types of electronic online case management, commercial cases, small claims, bills claims, tenancy, civil cases, family court cases, and remote family mediation. But most notably was the labor cases. We had communication with the Labor Market Regulatory Authority. Through them, we offered support to the foreign laborers where they can file cases and follow up their cases through the LMRA. Also, fully automated process for the enforcement of judgments, whether it's a judgment or a self-executing deed, fully online, and auctions were held electronically through a private company for seizing and selling properties online. The use of technology allowed remote access to system of cases for judges and court staff that enabled case management and interim decisions to be taken remotely. Our criminal justice system was able to legally recognize and respond to e-reporting on crimes through hotline and online. More response to crimes that become common to investigate during the pandemic. Most importantly, remote public hearings for the accused who are imprisoned were arranged that link judges, lawyers, the accused, prosecutors, court clerks, and the public. Fully automated and paperless process from filing the case to enforcement, including issuance of judgments, is in place for all civil, commercial, labor, tenancy, and family cases on all courts levels. The court has not stopped fulfilling the function throughout the pandemic. Since the end of March, full online access to courts for lawyers, individuals, companies, NGOs, and institutions. The use of technology expanded to everyone in e-filing, including appeals, e-payment, e-notification, exchange of memos between parties, applications to court, and the ability for all litigants to follow the progress of their cases and submit requests to the court, and finally, pronouncement of judgments. I would like also to mention Bahrain medical team. The use of technology, they did especially artificial intelligence tools, helped to identify quickly and any possible threats related to infections with COVID-19. The medical team was always present through preventive measures and random tests for judges, court staff, lawyers, litigants, and even the public in the court premises. Call center developed to help the public, especially litigants and lawyers, to go through the process. Guidelines for lawyers, judges, and clerks on how to use the system were published and distributed. Training through the GLSI, which is the Judicial and Legal Studies Institute, is introduced to create common understanding of the process and to make all players more acquainted with the use of technology in courts. Identifying the administration of courts, including court staff, IT, and finance as vital sector alongside the police and the public health staff. The awareness program also is going on to the public through media campaign, illustrations, and videos to simplify the concept and procedures, especially filing cases and requests and for e-payments. Remote notarization, especially for the detainees, also in place. And also allowing law firms to continue to meet with their clients when necessary as an exception to the health restrictions applied. To conclude my answer to the first question, technology-supported solutions enabled us to maintain access to justice for all throughout the pandemic. Fully automated process that is paperless and with no physical attendance needed. Now going to the second question on the challenges anticipated to access to justice in the near future and the role of technology in dealing with them. The main purpose for all procedures to be taken in the coming years will be primarily focused on how to rebuild our economies and mitigate the effect of the pandemic. Technological investments in the justice and legal sectors are vital. A new approach toward justice and legal environment is required. It must be responsive, far-reaching to everyone, taking full advantage of mediation and the amicable settlement of disputes, with an expanding role for professionals within the legal and vital economic sectors. With technology, we envisage a major role for private sector. And with technology, the procedures will be simpler and more accessible with broader access to justice. We have to deal with the ramifications of this year for some years to come. We will have to deal with these ramifications in an innovative approach with focus on reconciliation, reorganization, and restorative justice. The agility of our legal and judicial systems will be further tested. The comfort with the use of technology will pose both a demand and opportunity, which we will all must deal with. All of this, of course, will always be critically balanced against delivering justice and ensuring principles of fair trial are protected. To conclude my intervention, broader consultation and exchange of experiences like this event will guarantee more constructive and viable approach towards the use of technology in our legal and justice system. Thank you so much for listening.
His Excellency Sheikh Khalid, thank you so much for speaking. This was an excellent showcase of how Bahrain has used everything. Has used every available technology to drive the adoption of tech in the industries, especially in such strange times. What's the next steps for Bahrain to continue the digital transformation in the legal industries?
I think it's very important for us to envisage the following. One is that all the main players, which for us are the judiciary, the administration of justice, the lawyers in particular, to be on board. And I believe also the public now became a main player. Now we can see that the public is filing their cases by themselves. They're filing their cases. There's an increase of the participation of individuals in filing their cases. And I think we have to address them as well. We have to put it in a way that can be addressed to them. And the main issue also is to use a technology that can reach everyone at home in a way that with no sophistication, and let me put it this way, without legal jargon, something that will allow people to participate and really achieve justice. The role of lawyer as well will be different. We imagine that over the coming years that they will have a role in sorting out disputes more than just presenting clients in front of the court. So there are lots of things that the technology can play lots of positive role in it. And we hope that technology is not something that now you can put it and say that I'm using technology and that's it. I think it's a need that that will be there. What we were before 1 year back, I don't think it will return back to. Now the challenges are more, and dealing with the ramifications of 2020 will really require a change in everything, and the technology lies in the heart of it.